strap yourself in for Keeping It Real with Jack and Raoul.
Welcome back, Keepers. This is another episode of Keeping It Real with Jack and Raoul. I think this is our 106th episode, Raoul. It's a goodie in that you suggested to me, and I haven't introduced you, but that's all right. You'll pipe up in a minute.
No, I'm here. Hello.
Never been backward and coming forward. Intention versus behaviour. And as you told me that, I started thinking, oh, yeah, this one's got legs.
It has.
So my intention may not be clear in my behaviour. Is that right?
Well, it sort of comes from the quote, we judge ourselves by our intentions.
Yeah.
But we judge others by their behaviour. So it's almost double standards when we're judging.
Well, it's
people.
Justifying us.
And first of all, because a lot of the
others.
time in others we see their behaviour and we don't know their intentions.
No, of course.
So we've made an assumption on their intentions. You see this, you see this, I see this in my husband, God love him, Steve.
Oh, Steve.
Driving.
I haven't mentioned him for a few episodes.
I haven't mentioned him for ages.
No, I was wondering whether, are we all okay?
I'll mention this story and then this will be a test to see if he
he's
actually
still with you.
listens to the podcast or not. But he will, in driving, for example.
You do a lot of driving.
If someone does something not to his, they'll overtake or they don't move out of the overtaking lane fast enough or they come back in too quickly. He'll sit there and go, bloody idiot, and honking on the horn. It's just relax. But he will do, so sometimes he does things and I just look at him and go, if someone had done that to you, you'd be on the horn like there was no tomorrow. And you go, yeah, but that was just an accident.
Yeah.
Or no, I didn't mean it. Or no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So as soon as he does something, it's like, yeah, but
That's okay.
I didn't mean it.
No.
And I was just,
Whereas somebody else,
where someone else is an idiot.
Yeah. He's assuming that they've done it intentionally.
Yeah.
When in actual fact, he doesn't know their intentions.
He's judging himself, as we do, right?
Yes.
He's judging himself by his intention, and his
Not by his
intention is
behaviour.
always to be a courteous driver, and he didn't mean to do that. But
The behaviour is saying
someone
something
else,
different.
he quickly judges by their behaviour.
So I'm in a work situation
Yeah.
and I lose my cool and I'm embarrassed about it, right? So
You lose your call.
I lose my cool.
Oh, cool.
So I get angry. Maybe I raise my voice or maybe I get emotional. So my intention isn't to do that because I pride myself on being a self-regulated leader, somebody who's professional at all times and respectful.
Yep.
Yet my behaviour is actually
Shows something different.
something different. So you could judge me, quite rightly actually, as somebody who is not self-regulated, who's easily upset, whatever the judgment might be, based on my behaviour when that wasn't my intention. So this would happen daily all over the world.
Oh, absolutely.
All of the time. I think about when I'm coaching, I will often say to somebody as we go through their goals, their coaching goals, yeah, but what is it that you really want? What is this about? What is your intention? And that takes a bit of thinking before I get the answer to that in order to then work backwards to what the coaching might be requiring. But how do we, what do we need to do here? It's a really good thought.
Because I think a lot of fights or arguments would happen because of this.
Yes.
It would be like,
Agree.
it'd be like, well, how dare you say that to me?
Yeah.
So I would not have said that to you.
Yeah.
So it was like, I wouldn't do it, but you've just done it. And so I think I find when I adopt this approach to thinking, well, maybe that was not their intention, life's easier.
Nice.
You avoid some conflicts, unnecessary conflicts. And it's probably, when sometimes
you make a very good mediator.
Yeah, and sometimes it's, when you send sometimes someone perhaps does something that's upset you and a really good way is to say, hey, I just want to let you know when you said that or did that or
this is how I felt
or didn't do that, this is how I felt. And then that gives them the option to go, oh my God, I never meant that.
That was not my intention.
That was not my intention.
Got it.
And you know what? I probably shouldn't have done it, or I probably should have done it, but I just never thought of it, or totally slipped my mind. Or
that's a good example of how you might address something, right? So it is on the person that has witnessed the behaviour or experienced the behaviour to call it, to understand the intention.
Yeah. Yeah, and in a professional situation where, especially if these are people you're working with or they're in your team or a colleague, it's you do have to address that. But what you don't want to be doing is going, God, I can't believe they did that. I would never do that.
Yeah, well,
and then making judgment. So again, what it's doing, it's making judgment on the behaviour.
Correct. But how many people are going to call that? How many people are going to say, "Oh, well, what you just did then made me feel X."
Yeah.
Is that what you intended?
You know what? Sometimes I don't think you even maybe need to call it.
Okay. So you just judge them anyway?
No, you literally don't judge them. As in saying,
okay.
So to me,
so you allow it.
Let's go, well, they're not necessarily doing things wrong.
Just
so, I mean, if we go back to just like the driving example,
Steve,
right?
Yeah.
Someone has overtaken and pulled in, and in Steve's opinion, it's 10 feet too early. It was just like,
bless him.
Just, and you know,
let it go.
Just let it go.
Let it go. Be the king of Teflon, Steve.
Don't get on the bloody
let
horn.
it slide. Okay, so you're saying,
and it's also with the friends. It was like, you know, they never sent me a birthday text.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
did I? I did on the day. Sure. You popped up on LinkedIn. That's how I knew, or Instagram.
You know, maybe they were busy.
Yeah.
And I could be thinking, well, I sent them a birthday.
Yeah.
Text.
So they don't like me.
That's what I mean. So it's not let's just say that, for example, right? You didn't send me a birthday text, right?
I did, but anyway.
You did, right? But I could sit there and go, surprised Jack didn't send me a birthday text.
What does that mean?
I've
always sent her.
I always send her
a birthday text.
I actually don't, because I forget, because you're one of these people that don't tell.
I don't want anyone knowing when it's my birthday. So nobody's business.
But let's just role play this made up thing. I could be sitting there going, I just can't believe Jack didn't do it. I sent her birthday text. I would have expected her. So big. All I can do is judge you on your behaviour.
In the meantime, there I am at the farm picking up horse poo, thinking, "Gosh, I love Rael. She's the best co-host." So you're thinking, "I don't like you," or "I've forgotten you," or whatever. So when I'm actually thinking of you, but because I didn't send the text,
I could be thinking that, but because I try to adopt intention versus behaviour, I would sort of go, "Okay, well, she's probably busy."
It's taken us a long time to get to this. Your point here is that we need to, as human beings, and particularly in a workplace scenario where a lot of our keepers are, not take things so personally. Don't take them like it's our problem. In fact, let it go and assume that the behaviour doesn't reflect the intention.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, well, that's a short episode.
I was going to say we're done now. Okay, so how do you do that? Because I think that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done.
So you can do it. You are doing it now. I tend to do a bit of this as well, I must admit. How have we got to this? What has been the catalyst for us being able to go, well, that's no big deal. I'm not going to let that one worry me. I'm sure they didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah. But that's a good question. What is the catalyst? I don't know. Does this come with age? I'm not sure.
You know, I thought of something. And at the moment, we are very aware of neurodivergency, right?
Yes, good.
So a lot of people that don't have social cues.
Yeah.
I know somebody very close who will often make the most astounding statements directed at me. And yet they are somebody who I know rates me highly and would walk over hot coals for me. But because they lack a bit of a filter, will be just straight. And I will often be sort of reeling a bit like, did I just hear that right? And then I think, but that's okay. That's just a lack of social skills. There's no nastiness in that. And move on from it. Yeah. That all happens in a split second.
So this is a good point. So you're easily able to do that because you know of the neurodiversity.
Yes.
It's the same, you know, Alex.
And I know that person.
Yeah, you know that
how
person.
lovely they are.
Alex, for example, ADHD, the amount of texts I send her and she doesn't respond to texts.
Yeah.
And then I send it and she go, oh, sorry, I responded in my head.
Yes.
Right? So, and I know it's because of ADHD, right? So, of course, and she's my daughter, so I'm not
worried about it.
You know, sort of used to annoy me.
Yeah.
And then we found out the whole ADHD.
Sure.
And you
so
go,
then
right,
you
so that's-
understood the intention.
So it's easy to do this. It's
Correct.
easy to adopt this, understand the intention, judge on intention, not behavior. It's really easy to do this when you know the person well.
Correct.
And you go, well,
but what if you don't know the person
Yes.
well?
A lot of the times you don't know the person well. So that's when I think I've got no idea what's happening with them. Like it could be a total stranger that's done something and you've got no idea whether, first of all, they are neurodiverse and that's part of it. They're just, their kid's just gone in for emergency
That's
hospital.
right. Or
You got no idea what's going on in their world
the office,
right then and there that has made them do this something. And I'm not saying excuse really bad behaviour, but most of these things are not bad behaviour.
No.
They're just not what you would do.
But look, I've got to say, Ral, I agree with all of that. If we don't make people more self-aware of their impact on others, then that's actually not helping them.
Agree.
So going back to what you said before, I love the fact that you recognise it's probably not their intention, it's just their behaviour. So you can separate those two.
Yeah.
I think in some situations, maybe not in all, you choose your battles, it would be remiss for you just to ignore it and let it go. Instead, what we should be doing is actually respectfully saying, I'm sure how you behaved just then wasn't intended to upset me.
Yes.
And actually stop and hold a mirror up, if you will. The other thing they say, and I think this is very effective and I never remember to use it, if somebody insults you, ask them to repeat it.
Yes.
Now, if they repeat it, they really, really meant it.
It could be like, sorry, I'm not sure I heard that properly. Could you repeat it? That's good.
No, not even, no. Short, sharp. You bloody idiot. Could you repeat that, please?
You stupid bloody idiot. No, so I think we're in agreement. It's just, so if you're talking about,
and at work particularly.
At work, colleagues, children, partners, and they're doing behaviour that
is inappropriate,
or could let's go.
better.
Alex's, if she's not responding to texts and emails in work, that's probably going to have an impact.
That's right.
So you absolutely should address it.
Call it.
Definitely. I am perhaps thinking when it's total strangers that you're never going to pass again.
Yes, sure.
That's when you just let it go.
I also think, and I said it before, choose your battles. There will be people that you love and live with where there will be certain things and you'll think, I'll just let that one go.
Yes.
But it would be great. I think that would follow from actually that's not their intention. That's just their behaviour today. I know they're tired. I know they're worried about something. I know they're stressed. Richard is very good about things like that. I will snap now and again. And I know it's hard for you to believe because you know I'm perfect. He doesn't quite see that. And he will let that go. And I'll go, oh, he hasn't said anything.
Right. So
it might come up another day, but the point being is that he will choose, or think, oh, well, give her a break. It's, I don't like it, the way she just snapped at me or shut me down or ignored me or whatever it might be. Making me sound like an awful wife. I don't do this very often, but if I'm a bit tired, I might be a bit short, as can he be. And it's, I suppose, choosing whether you pursue it or not, but knowing in the back of your mind, is it their intention versus their behaviour? Yeah. I think it's a great filter, a great thing to regularly ask yourself inside your head as you're going through that experience.
Yeah. That's good.
Intention versus behaviour.
Yeah.
I reckon keepers might get something out of this in that it might make them start to question their own selves as well as, others. And if they can start to apply I'll just let that one go. Oh, I wonder if that's their intention versus their behaviour.
And I think it's just a good quote like that. And that's what I love, that you just be aware that we judge ourselves on our intentions and we judge others on their behaviour. I mean, you know what? You've got to look at just look around the world at the moment. There's a whole lot of wars and invasions and going on, and the people that are doing this, their behaviour is totally justified because they are judging themselves on their intentions, not the behaviour.
Yeah.
Where other people are going, this is illegal. What you're doing is wrong.
When we mess up, we blame the situation. I snapped because I was exhausted. I just said before.
Yeah.
I snapped at Richard because I'm tired. When others mess up, we blame their character. she's just difficult.
Yeah.
So it's a good one to remember. So we give ourselves the full director's cut. Everyone else gets the trailer, right?
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I empathise with myself because I know my context and my situation. But for somebody else, oh no, that's just bad behaviour. That's just not on. So it's a good one to remember.
It is a good one to
Intention
remember.
versus behaviour.
Yeah.
Good one, right?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. You would cover a lot of this stuff
Coaching.
around your coaching and executive presence and
Certainly do.
all that type of stuff. Hey, talking about executive presence, I know you've done a whole heap of masterclasses for our subscribers, our members
How
on
many people know
Patreon.
what executive presence means? I've been told you need more executive presence. Walked away going, WTF? What is that? What does it
There's
even
an
mean?
acronym.
What does it even mean?
Exactly.
So we have done a masterclass.
Yeah, we've done
I
masters.
have, yeah.
So just a reminder, if you want to get more of us and some real value
course
for
you do.
money, and who doesn't want to get more of us? We are so slay. We'll stop saying
Yes,
slay.
Unc.
We're going to stop saying slay. There's Jax's. You've done like 4 masterclasses on
You've done at
executive
least
presence.
2, right?
I've got a whole workshop on storytelling. I've got a whole workshop
Brilliant.
on presenting.
Brilliant.
These standalone courses are worth hundreds of dollars,
Thousands. You
and
say hundreds.
if
I
you
read
become
thousands.
a member, you get all of them as part of your subscription. Plus, you get bonus content. Plus, you get early access to.
And we've reduced the price of Patreon.
We've really reduced it to make
value.
it very, very inclusive. So check that out. And as usual, if you've liked this episode, give us a 5-star rating, share with others, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jack and Rahl. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell others about it and give a 5-star review. They may seem confident, but they really are sensitive 5-star needy souls. Yeah, right. Keeping It Real, created by Jack Phillips and Gabriel Dolan. Produced by Keehlan Ferrari-Brown. And this really real voiceover, spoken by Richard Phillips.